Welcome to the week 9 concept summary video of Python. So this whole week is dedicated to file handling. So today we are going to discuss how to work with files, uh, which is called file handling. So at first, what is actually a file? So a file is typically a collection of data. Like a file can be of any type. There can be image file or a video file or audio file or text file. Like like we can store different types of data in files, and a file typically contains any kind of data. So, but today we are specifically going to learn how to work with the text files using Python. So, how to interact with them, how to open, how to read that file, how to retrieve the data which is there in that file, and how to write new information into that file, and how to close that file. These all are the things that we are going to basically discuss today. So let us start. And before starting, I have to tell you some option which is there in this Google Colab, which I'm currently using. So as you can see, there are some icons in this left bar. So if you go to this file icon, this files icon in here, you can basically upload your any kind of file that you want to work with. So any file that you want to work with, that you can upload from here, from your computer, and those files which all you upload will appear here. And I have uploaded a few files, like 4 or 5 files, and these files are something that we are going to use today to, illustrate some examples on how to handle with the files. So yeah, so that's basically how you upload any file to Google Colab. You can click on this and upload. So let's start by basically, okay, first the simplest thing that we can do is let's try to open this. As you can see, there is a file called example.txt. So let us try to open that example.txt file, and let us print whatever content is there in that file. So to do that, we basically write a simple code which goes like this. First, you need to define a variable. So this variable can be anything that you can name it. And you basically then open a file, uh, and you for this open function you have to give two parameters. The first parameter is the file name, and the second parameter is how you want to open that file. So what do you want to basically do with that file? Do you want to read which is there in that file, or do you want to write some new information in that file? That you have to mention here, and here you have to mention the name of that file. So as we discussed before, we want to open example.txt file. So I'll just write the file name, which is example.txt. And I want to just see whatever content is there in that file. So I just want to print the contents of that file. So I will open that in read mode. So I am not adding anything to that file. So I don't want to open it in write mode. So if you want to open it in write mode, you can mention W, or else if you want to just retrieve the data which is there in that file, you can just mention R, which is open it in read mode. Okay. So now we have opened the file with this line, and next what we want to do is we want to read the file, right? For that, we just write file.read, which basically reads that file, and we want to store the content of this file into a variable. Let's say I'll name it content only. Okay, so this content basically contains whichever data is there in this file. So now I want to print this content. So I just write print content. Okay, and then after whatever we wanted to do, like after doing whatever we wanted to do with that file, we have to close that file also. As how we opened it, we have to close it. So always make sure you close the file, and the syntax to close the file is just file dot close. file dot close. Right. So I'll just run this and let's see. It printed something. And let's open this example.txt and see what is there in it. Okay, it is taking. Okay, so it is showing the contents of this example.txt. It basically contains 4 lines: coffee, pen, cat, and headphones. These words written in it, and it basically printed the same thing, the content of that file. Right. So what we achieved with this code is that we were able to open the file in read mode, and we were able to print whatever content is there in that file. Great. So then, next, what we want to do is one more thing. There is like this is one way to open any file, and there is one more way to open any file. Uh, let me show you that way also, which is this one, sample.txt in the same read mode uh, as let's say some variable f and f dot read. Okay, let's run this code and see what it prints. See, this is also basically printing the same thing. So what this code did with 4 lines, this code did the same with just 2 lines. So what is the difference? So if we write, like if we open the file using this with keyword, we need not, close it explicitly. So this with keyword only does that for us, like closing the file, it only takes care of it. Okay, so we have to first mention the keyword with, and we have to open that file in read format, and we have to mention some variable. This variable can be anything. I named that as f, and I just printed f dot read. Just read that file and print it. Okay, so both of these basically did the same thing. Okay, now let us see how to open a file in write mode, and let us try to write something to the file. Okay, so I'll use this syntax only using with, because this is simpler to do. We need not close the file explicitly, so I'll work with this only with open the same example txt, and this time I want to write something new into that file, so I'll open it in write mode, and I'll do the same thing as if, and I want to just write a line into it, which is, let's say, hello world. Okay, I wanted to write hello world into that, so I let's run this. Okay, this code ran, but it is not showing us any output because we just wrote this content into that file, so we didn't print anything. So let's go to this file and see. Okay, we need not even go into here. Like we can just rerun this code to see the difference. Okay. See, as we printed the content of this example.txt in read mode, we can see that whatever we wrote here appeared here. So, which is basically the content of this example.txt got changed to whatever we wrote in this line, right? So this is basically how you actually open any text file, or how you get the contents of that file, or if you want to write something into that file. This is how you handle reading and writing of basically any text file. Okay, so as now we got some kind of idea on how to kind of open and read or write into any text file. Let us move to a bit interesting thing, which is called Caesar Cipher. Okay, I'll mention it here. Okay, Caesar Cipher. Okay, so what did you understand by this term Caesar cipher? So it is basically a procedure, a method to encrypt a message. Let's say you want to share a secret message with your friend. So, and you don't want anyone to understand that secret message if they read it. Okay, so you want to send that secret message in an encrypted way. So, you don't want anyone to read that, so you just encrypt it. So your message, so in that message you shift each alphabet with a fixed number of places to another alphabet. Okay, so it will be clear after I write a bit of code. So as you can see, we have a file here called caesar.txt. So let us work with that file now. So let us say I want to open that file. So I'll just mention with open caesar.txt in read mode. Okay, as F and F. Let's say I'll mention text. Text equals F dot read. So I am storing whatever is there in that caesar.txt file into this text variable. Okay, so we've captured some information, like whatever text is there in that file. So now what I want to do is I'll make a string of alphabets. Okay, I want to make a string which contains A to Z. Okay, so this string contains all the alphabets from basically A to Z, right? So now what I will do is I will write, I'll define a variable called shift, and let's say I'll write 4 in this. Okay, and I'll define a result string, which is an empty string. So now I'll run a for loop. Okay, so for letter in text, what I want to do is the index, I'll say alphabet dot index of that letter, and uh, new index, I'll write. I'll explain what this code does after writing this. So it's totally fine if you are not able to understand anything now. Sure. Alphabet. So okay, so we wrote a bunch of lines of code here. And okay, before moving on, let us try to print what is there in that file. Let us print this text. So for now, I'll comment these lines and I'll just run this. See, so I've printed the contents of this caesar.txt file, and it has this text called secret message. So now what I want to do is I want to encrypt this message. So I want to turn this message into a code which is not understandable upon reading. Okay, so I'll explain each line. So this line, what I did was I defined a variable called alphabet and defined a string which contains all the alphabets from A to Z. And then I have defined a int variable which is shift, and what is it? I gave it a value 4 and I defined an empty string. So what this 4 represents is that I want to shift each letter in this word, in this message. I want to shift each letter in this message to a fixed, like to four alphabets after that particular alphabet. So if A is there, I want to turn that A into an alphabet which is four letters after A, which is E basically. So A becomes E and B becomes F and so on. So for letter in text, so for every letter in the text that we have here, what we want to do is we want to capture the index of it in the alphabet string. So see what this basically does is if that letter is A, it this index captures the value 0 because A is at zeroth index of alphabet string. Right. So I want to define a new index to that. What that index is that the index of this plus shift. I wanted to shift that particular letter to four letters after that letter, right? So I want to shift that by four index. And this mod length of alphabet, what it does is that it always makes sure that the value of this always stays between 0 to 25, which is the length of the alphabet, the number of alphabets. Okay, so and what we did is we basically appended that letter that changed like the shifted letter into this result string. So now we want to print that result, right? So let's try running this. Okay, great. As we can see, we have successfully encrypted this message into this. So if you give this message to anyone and ask them to read it, they won't understand anything because we have encoded it with some what you say, some cipher. Okay, which is we shifted it to four letters. Okay, so we have encoded it, but how do we decode this? Okay, how do we decode this? Okay, for that, what we want to do is let us go to this Caesar text file and let's replace this secret message with this encoded message. Okay, I'm just replacing it with this. And now the Caesar.txt file contains this encoded text. And now what we want to do is we, as how we, added that shift to the original message. Now we wanted to do the opposite of it. So we want to decode it now. So I have changed the plus sign to minus, and now let's try to run this. See, it changed. So now this one is whatever there in that Caesar, and this is the decrypted message. So what from this, what you can understand is that if you want to, send a secret message to anyone, you can encrypt it and give them the key, which is this, and ask them to decode it using that key only, and they get that message back. So this is the goal of the Caesar cipher. So this is what we did, encoding and decoding. That's all. Okay, right. So now, as we got a bit more understanding of how files work, let us try to work with one more type of uh, file. Okay, so let me open this file. Okay, this is a genome sequence file. Let me open this. As you can see, it has some random text which we are not able to understand, right? It has some A, T, G, C, T, A, G, C, some random text. So it is basically our genetic sequence of our DNA. So there will be basically a code which is there in our DNA, and it is basically that code, and it is always coded with the letters A, T, G, C. So as you can see, there is no other word other than A, T, G, C in here. So, and the count of these A, T, G, C give us some inference on our DNA. So we can't understand it, but a doctor can conclude something by seeing this genetic sequence. So now our goal is to write or tell the number of A's that are present and number of T's that are present and number of G's that are present in our this genetic sequence. So if we are able to provide the count of each alphabet like A, T, G, C, then maybe a doctor who is capable of decoding that genetic sequence can infer something from that information. So that is our goal. Okay. So now for that, what we want to do is we basically open that file as how we are doing. We want to with open now we want to open sequence.txt, right? We open sequence.txt in read mode as new variable name, and then we what we'll do is we define a variable called sequence, and then we do f dot read, and yeah, f dot read basically captures whatever text is there in that file, and then okay, then we can define a count, which is sequence dot count of a, and t count we basically define as sequence dot count of t. In the same way, g count is sequence dot count of g. The same way, c count is sequence dot count of c. So what these four lines basically do is they capture the counts of each code that is present there. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to print the counts. So as you all know, this the formatted string. So I wanted to print with that, and a, and I'll write a count, and then for t I'll write uh, t count. Same for g, I'll write g count, and for c I'll write uh, c count. Okay, so let us run this and see whether it runs. Okay, see now we got the output. So in this whatever sequence is there, in this this whole sequence has 10 A's, 9 T's, 10 G's, and 10 C's. Right. So this information, a doctor can conclude something from this information. So we did that using this code. So now let us move on and do something with see till now we have worked with only text files, right? So for every file as we can see the extension is .txt .txt .txt. Okay, so now we wanted now we want to experiment and do some file handling with a different type of file, which is called a CSV file. CSV file, let me write it here. uh, CSV file. Okay. So this, what is a CSV actually? CSV means nothing but comma separated values. Okay. CSV means comma separated values. It is also a type of text file only. So basically it contains text only, but it stores the data of every row by separating the columns with commas. Okay. So let's say I want to store marks of 5 subjects of a student, let's say. So in every row, I'll write the 5 subjects marks of a student with comma separate by separating 5 subjects marks with the commas. Let's say, for example, how a format of a CSV file will be like this. Let's say a person got 80 in a subject, 76 in another, 55, 56, 5 in another, and 88 in another, and 19 in the other subject. So we are storing the data of this subject marks by separating them with a comma. So that is why this type of files are called comma separated value files, CSV files. So now here we have an example of the CSV file data.csv here. If you open that, we have some information which is name, age, city of 4 people. The name, the age, and the city they live in. Okay, so this is basically the information that is provided to us. And our goal for this is to find the average of the age of these 4 people. Okay, the age of 4 people is given to us, and now our goal is to find the average age of these 4 people, right? Okay. So let for handling this also, it is the same thing. Like we write with open. Uh, the file name is data.csv, so I'm mentioning data.csv, and we want to open it in read mode only. So I'll mention that. Um, and then I'll write lines equals f dot read lines. As we can see that the CSV file has different data in different lines. So it is also separated by lines. So we want to read all the lines. So if I just write read line, it reads only the first line. So, but what I want is I want to read all the lines which are there in that file. So I'll write f dot read lines. So let's just try to print what this lines contains. Okay, we'll just print it. Okay, as you can see, it basically gave us a list containing uh, all the rows of that data.csv file. So this is called a header row. So the first line will always be a header which doesn't contain any data, but it contains the headings for the data. And next line contains some data, and the next line also contains like that. There are 4 lines of data with 1 line of header as the first line. Okay, so now we got to know what is there in these lines, and now let's try to uh, now let's just define a list called ages, in which I want to capture all the ages, which is 18, 25, 22, 30. I want to capture those values into this list. For that, what I want to do is for line in lines of 1. Okay, what does this uh, tell us? So what, as you can see that there is no relevant data in the first line, we skip the first line. So what this basically is telling us is to, basically loop through each line excluding the first line. So loop through all those lines which are there from starting from the first index, means the second element, right? Okay, so this loops through all those what you say data lines from the first index to till last. Okay, we got this. Now the fields are uh, line dot strip dot split with comma. So what did we do here? So we want to capture all these fields of each data row differently. So I want this Anil as different field, this 18 as different field, and Mumbai as different field. So for that, what I did is I have first okay, so this dot strip gets rid of the new line element which is there at end of every line. So this dot strip is used to get rid of that. And what this dot split does is that it basically separates each line with where commas are there. So there is a comma right here and there is a comma right here. So it separates this whole line into fragments by separating them with commas. Okay, so you can actually check what this contains. I'll write it's okay. Let us try printing this. Okay, so we got each different line in different lists. So now we can handle them easily. Okay, so printing is not needed. So what I'll do now is I want to capture the age, which is int of fields of 1. As you can see, in each list, the place where age is there is the first index. So I'm telling it to capture the age of taken from the fields of 1, which is this one. And as this all ages are in strings, I want to convert them into integers. So that's what I did in this line. And then I want to append this age into uh, our age. Okay, I want to append this age in ages list. So now what I'll do is I'll just average age is basically sum of ages by length of ages. Right. Now I'll just print it. Okay. Now let us run this and see. Okay, we got the average age as 23.75. Okay, so did you get what we did here? We basically first read whatever is there in that file into this lines variable, and then we defined an empty list, and then we went through each line of the lines, excluding the first line, which is header. We want to ignore that. And then we captured each line into this variable called fields by separating each line with commas. And then we captured the age from each line, and then we appended that age into this ages list, and then we computed the sum of that ages and divided it with the length of the ages list, with which we got the average age, and then we just printed that. Right. So this is how we handle any CSV file. So the same thing you can do if you want to write anything to this CSV file, you can do the same thing by replacing this R with W, and you can f dot write whatever you want to write into that file. So yeah, this is basically whatever is there in week 9, file handling, text files handling, Caesar Cipher, and CSV file handling and all. Okay, so yeah, I think that is it. I'll provide this collab link in the description. Please make sure you go through that once and practice all of these. And yeah, thank you for watching, and let us meet in the next video with the week 10 concepts. Thank you. Bye bye.